Welcome to our episode of Bargman Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at Battlefield Earth, starring John Travolta as Turl and Barry Pepper as Johnny Goodboy Tyler. And I have to admit, I'll give this film some credit. It's like a train wreck. You'll be damned if you can look away. Like, you have to watch it from the first scene all the way to the last scene. You're like, I can't believe how bad this film is. Like, you just can't stop watching. I mean, at least it catches your attention, if only because, you have to see how awful can it get. Just how dumb can this movie become? I mean, can it become as dumb as someone believing that koalas and kangaroos were launched to Australia by volcanoes after Noah's flood? Or as dumb as someone believing they can disprove gravity by jumping up into the air? Okay, it may not get as dumb as that last one or the one before that, but it gets pretty close, okay? I mean, this is a film that suggests books will survive 1,000 years in the future while being exposed to the elements, with all the water damage and mold damage and all that stuff going on, but the books, perfectly fine, okay? Books are not worried about the elements whatsoever, because paper is indestructible as far as this film is concerned. Which is unfreaking believable, okay? But yeah, that just bugged me about this film. Like, it's just a small detail, but gosh darn does it catch my attention. Like, there's no way that would happen. And here's a better question for the film. How can Johnny read English anyway? Seriously, why? I mean, I get if he could read Cyclo, because they have a machine that teaches him Cyclo, but how does that teach him how to read English? It's obviously wouldn't be programmed to include human languages. I can understand explaining the basics of mathematics. After all, that could be a common language you could use with anybody to a certain extent, as long as you can agree on what the symbols mean. But how does it teach him to read English? Did it also teach him how to read French and Russian and all this other stuff as well? I don't know, but gosh darn, is that something that just bugs you. Like, the movie is a plot hole on top of plot hole on top of plot hole. There's so many plot holes in this movie. It's awe-inspiring to see, Just, oh man. Though I also have to wonder how far they had to go to find this quote about the film on the back of the box. Great scene transitions and some of the better special effects of the year. The film was fast, furious, and just a good old time at theaters. I'm surprised they found anyone that liked this film, because I actually did dig up this review, and it was a 7 out of 10. But what do you mean great scene transitions? A lot of their scene transitions are just center wipes. Some of the laziest scene transitions there ever were, unless you think they're the best wipes ever. Just no. Yeah, I could probably dig into the whole stupidity of there being, Harrier jets that still work after 1,000 years, or the fact the Cyclos never looked into Fort Knox. Like, you think the Cyclos would have, at least tried to dig into, Earth's knowledge or databases, before they're completely destroyed, to find out if we mine gold and stockpiled it somewhere. After all, they are there for the gold, and Fort Knox supposedly contains a lot of gold. Supposedly. I mean, they always say the value of that gold stays consistent from what I've heard, so who knows? It may or may not be there. I'm not going to really worry about that and try and dig into conspiracy theories on it, because quite frankly, I just don't care. But yeah, the fact the Cyclos didn't hit up Fort Knox and take all the gold that's supposedly there is ridiculous. Like, you think they would have looked into what humans did with gold, besides turning into fancy jewelry and whatnot, because you think they would have wanted to stockpile all that as well and melt it down, smelt it into bricks. Something. It's just so bad. And don't even get me started on how bad the acting is. Just, no. Well, hopefully next week will be better, since we'll be starting on Christmas movies. Though something tells me those could be bad as well. After all, I did watch Santa Claus Conquers the Martian one time. Or Conquers the Martians. Sorry. We'll see. Until then, See ya.
There's nothing I want more. Piece of cake! Piece of cake! Piece of cake!